Prince Harry spoke up for veterans, and the British press chose silence.
One last thing, it's not really in the papers. I'm a bit surprised by that, but there's no pictures of Prince Harry, who spoke out about it earlier on this evening, very much condemning Donald Trump's comments. How much of an impact do you think that would be? How significant?
The thing is, I think it will be very significant for the bereaved, because they do see Harry as one of theirs, and they will respect and be grateful for his intervention. But I mean, and I feel for Harry on this. He's got so many forces ranged against him. Huge segments of the British media are just shutting him out now because they've gone Team Charles. Then his kind of traditional supporters will be people like us at The Guardian, and we're not big royalists, so we don't really go there.
It's always been a bit beyond, because, he founded the Invictus Games back in 2014. It's obviously something that he's always felt very, very strongly.
Oh, yeah. I certainly wouldn't say there was anything inauthentic about his feelings about it. I just don't think he's going to get he's not going to get the kind of showcase that he would ordinarily have got.
He may not do if he does it once, but my point would be, this is the Harry that we love. This is the Harry that we miss. And if he decides this is what he wants his public life persona to be about, then he will be re-embraced by the British public, I have no doubt. If he determines that this is the sort of thing he wants to take a stand on, rather than some of the other activity, promoting some social media activity that their new venture is off on the West Coast. If he decides this is what that he's about, I think he will have a very profound impact for himself as well as for the rest of us.
He can't just go to war with Trump as his new public persona.
No, I mean, if he doesn't have to be at war with Trump in order to speak up for veterans, their issues, their interests, with someone who has real standing in this. He had 2 tours, and the people of that community speak much more highly of him than they did about, even before all the issues, Prince Andrew.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did a lot of interviews throughout the day with veterans, and obviously they were all quite touched, I think, by the fact that Prince Harry had spoken out. Well, certainly a story that's not going to go away anytime soon. Let's take a look at...
On a recent trip to Canada for the Invictus Games, Harry was asked about Donald Trump's suggestion that NATO allies might not be defended if they didn't meet spending targets. Harry's response was measured and personal. He didn't attack Trump. He focused on the soldiers who would be affected. He spoke about unity, morale, and the bond between service members from different nations. For Harry, the idea of disregarding this bond was an affront to military service itself. His words were a defence of the men and women he served with, a powerful statement from a royal veteran. Yet the British press, usually eager to cover Harry, fell silent. The question remains, why ignore a story of a prince defending veterans? To understand Harry's words, you need to know his story. He served 10 years as Captain Harry Wales, not just as a prince, but as a soldier. 2 tours in Afghanistan, one as a forward air controller, another as an Apache pilot, put him on the front lines. He shared the risks, the hardships, and the camaraderie of military life. This experience gave him a unique, authentic voice on military matters. Harry's commitment to veterans is personal, not just royal duty. When he speaks about the military, it's with authority and conviction. His defence of NATO troops was a defence of his own community. That's why his intervention mattered, and why the media silence was so striking. Harry wasn't just a royal making a statement. He was a veteran standing up for his own. While the mainstream media stayed quiet, support for Harry came from an unexpected place: Sky Sports. During a football discussion, presenters shifted to Harry's comments. They saw not a controversial royal, but a veteran defending his community. Simon Jordan, known for his bluntness, backed Harry's right to speak, citing his military service. The panel agreed. Harry's experience gave him credibility. They focused on the real issue, solidarity among soldiers, not politics. The sports show's genuine support highlighted a disconnect between public perception and media narratives. Ordinary people saw Harry as a soldier first, not a rebel prince. Their reaction showed that Harry's message resonated beyond royal watchers. Among veterans, Harry's words struck a chord. They saw one of their own using his platform to stand up for them. Respect in the veteran community is earned, and Harry earned his in Afghanistan. Social media and forums lit up with support, grateful that someone of his stature spoke out. Veterans saw his comments as a defense of the military covenant, not a political attack. The Invictus Games, Harry's creation, is proof of his dedication to wounded and recovering service members. For veterans, Harry is a champion, not just a royal patron. His intervention on NATO was seen as loyalty to his comrades, not defiance. The contrast between veteran support and media silence was stark. It revealed a gap between how Harry is viewed by those he served with and how he's portrayed in the press. Sometimes what isn't reported is more telling than what is. Major British outlets, usually obsessed with Harry, barely covered his defence of military personnel. Tabloids and broadsheets alike ignored a story with all the ingredients for headlines: a royal, a former US president, and national security. The absence felt deliberate, not accidental. These same outlets devote endless coverage to trivial Sussex stories. When Harry acts with integrity, the coverage vanishes. This selective reporting exposes media bias and a preference for a negative narrative. The silence was a choice, to withhold a story that showed Harry in a positive, authoritative light. This episode says much about the modern media and Harry's new role. By ignoring his defence of veterans, the press sent a message. Positive stories about Harry don't fit their agenda. Harry's voice carries weight because it's earned through service, not spin. His words reminded us that real lives, not politics, are at stake. The media's silence is a subtle form of censorship, shaping public opinion by omission. In the end, Harry spoke for veterans with authenticity. Sometimes the loudest message is the one left unspoken.